When they were children, Leo and Maya believed the world was simple. They lived in the same small town, where streets were quiet and everyone knew each other. Their houses were not far apart, and in between them stood an old oak tree. That tree was large and strong, with wide branches that seemed to touch the sky. Under that tree, they spent most of their childhood. Every afternoon after school, they would meet there. They would talk about small things that felt very big at that age. Dreams of becoming something important, plans of traveling far away, and promises that felt unbreakable. One late summer evening, when the sky was turning orange and the air was soft and warm, Leo and Maya made a promise under that oak tree. They sat on the grass, leaning against its thick trunk. The wind moved gently through the leaves above them. Leo said, "No matter what happens, we will always come back here." Maya smiled and nodded. "Even if life takes us far away." Leo looked at the tree and then at her. "Yes, even then, we will meet here again." They didn't think about how life could change. To them, the world was simple. A promise was a promise. They carved their initials lightly into the bark of the tree, not to damage it, but to mark the moment, a small memory that only they would understand. Years passed, and childhood slowly turned into something else. School became harder. Days became busier. Dreams started to grow in different directions. Leo's family moved to another city when he was 15. It happened suddenly. There was no long goodbye, no final walk under the oak tree, just packed boxes, a silent morning, and a car that drove away. Before leaving, Leo went to the tree alone. He placed his hand on its rough bark. "I will come back," he whispered, even though no one was there to hear him. Maya arrived later that day, but the house was already empty. She stood under the oak tree for a long time. The wind moved the leaves, but everything else felt still. She looked at the initials they had carved years ago. For the first time, the promise felt heavier than it had ever felt before. Life moved on. Leo adapted to the new city. It was bigger, louder, and faster. He made new friends, went to a new school, and slowly learned to live without the old streets and the oak tree. But he never forgot. Sometimes, when life felt overwhelming, he would close his eyes and remember that tree, the sound of leaves, the quiet afternoons, Maya's laughter. Maya also grew up in the same town. She stayed near the oak tree longer than Leo did. It became a place she visited often, even when there was no reason to go. After school, after difficult days, she would sit under it and think. She wondered if promises made as children could survive distance, or if they were just words that faded with time. Years turned into adulthood. Leo studied hard, built a career, and moved forward in life. Maya did the same in her own way. She became independent, strong, and focused on her future. But both of them carried something invisible inside them, a memory they never spoke about, a promise they never broke, but never fulfilled either. 10 years passed, then 15. The world changed around them, but the oak tree remained in the same place, strong, quiet, and patient. One evening, Maya returned to the tree after a long time. Life had become complicated. Work, responsibilities, and exhaustion had filled her days. She sat under the tree, just like she used to as a child. The sky was familiar. The wind was the same, but she felt different. She looked at the carved initials again. They were still there, though softened by time. "Do you still remember?" she whispered into the silence. That night, something inside her changed. She decided she would go back every Sunday, just in case someone else remembered to. Weeks passed. She kept her promise to herself. Every Sunday, she returned to the oak tree. Sometimes she stayed for minutes, sometimes for hours, but no one else came. Still, she did not stop. One Sunday, as she sat there quietly, she heard footsteps. Her heart paused for a moment. She turned slowly. A man stood near the edge of the path, looking uncertain. He seemed familiar in a way she could not immediately understand. Then their eyes met. Time seemed to stop. It was Leo, but not the boy she remembered. He was older now, with different features shaped by years and distance. Yet something in his expression was still the same. Maya stood up slowly. Neither of them spoke at first. The silence between them was heavy, filled with years that had passed too quickly. Leo took a step forward. "You came," he said quietly. Maya nodded. "I always came." A soft breeze moved through the leaves above them, like the tree itself was listening. Leo looked at the carved initials on the bark. His hand touched them gently. "I thought I would make it back sooner," he said. "Life, it just kept moving." Maya looked at him. "It always does." There was no anger in her voice, only truth. They sat down under the tree, just like they used to. But everything felt different now. They were no longer children. They were people shaped by time, distance, and experience. Leo spoke first. "I never forgot our promise," he said. "Even when I was far away, I remembered this place." Maya looked at him. "Then why did it take so long?" He stayed quiet for a moment. "I didn't know how to come back," he finally said. "I thought too much time had passed. I thought maybe you wouldn't be here anymore. Or maybe I wouldn't be the same person you remembered." Maya listened carefully. "I thought the same. she admitted. That maybe you had forgotten. That maybe I was the only one still holding on. They both looked up at the tree. It had seen everything. Childhood laughter, silent goodbyes, long years of waiting, and now this moment of return. Leo sighed softly. We were just kids when we made that promise. Maya nodded, but it still mattered. A long silence followed. Then Leo spoke again, more gently this time. Do you still believe in it? Maya thought for a moment. The question was not simple. She looked at the tree, then at him. I think, she said slowly, some promises are not about time. They are about remembering who we were when we made them. Leo listened carefully. And who were we? He asked. Maya smiled faintly. We were people who believed we would always find our way back. The wind moved again, stronger this time, rustling the leaves above them like a quiet answer. They sat there for a long time without speaking. Not everything needed words anymore. Some things were already understood. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in soft gold, Leo finally said, I'm here now. Maya looked at him. Yes, she said, you are. And for the first time in many years, under the same oak tree that had witnessed their childhood, the promise was no longer just something from the past. It was something still alive, quietly waiting for what came next.